This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. As we've reported, China has too many car brands producing too many vehicles, and that's led to a price war in the EV segment and more exports out of the country, which has concerned European and U.S. officials. But the China Association of Automobile Manufacturers says the country is addressing its capacity issues. Last year, Chinese car plants had a capacity utilization rate of 70%, so idled factories are now being closed, which should help out those numbers. Chinese officials have also said they are being more cautious about approving new EV production plans. But local governments rely on car plants for jobs, which could make it harder to address the country's overcapacity issues. At the same time, more Chinese brands are looking to build vehicles overseas. Spain's industry minister says that it's nearing a deal with Chery to produce cars in the country, and it could be formalized in the next few days. Chery would produce vehicles at a plant that Nissan shut down in 2021. It's currently owned by engineering firm EV Motors, but it's involved with the talks with Chery too because it would continue to operate the facility. EV Motors could also make other production and commercial deals with Chery. Chery was holding talks with the Italian government about building vehicles in the country as well, but it looks like it's going with Spain instead. By building vehicles in Europe and not importing them, it will help Chinese automakers avoid backlash because governments are more likely to welcome the jobs that they bring. The German premium brands reported their sales for the first quarter, and let's start with the BMW Group, which fared the best. It sold just under 595,000 vehicles, including Mini and Rolls-Royce, and that's a gain of 1.1% compared to last year. The group sold 82,700 BEVs in Q1, which is a big increase of 28%. But if you exclude Mini and Rolls-Royce, BMW's fully electric sales were up 40%. BMW says it has now sold 1 million fully electric vehicles worldwide. Sliding over to Mercedes, it didn't perform as well as its German rival. The automaker sold 568,400 cars and vans in the first quarter, a drop of 6% compared to a year ago. But it was the passenger car side that dragged the sales down the most. Its car sales were down 8%, while its vans were up 7%. However, both units were hurt by the slowdown in EVs. Mercedes cars sold 47,500 BEVs in Q1, a drop of 8%, and its electric van sales were down 17%. Combined, the group sold 50,500 BEVs in the first quarter, down 9%. And Porsche also saw its sales dip in the first quarter. It sold 77,640 vehicles, a 4% decline. Its only electric model, the Taycan, saw its sales tumble 54% with just over 4,200 deliveries. But Porsche blames that on the model changeover. The new Taycan, which has more performance and range and faster charging times, will start being delivered to customers this month. Porsche will also start delivering the all-electric Macan in the second half of the year, so its EV sales should improve as the year goes on.
At Teijin Automotive Technologies, we combine world-class composite materials expertise with cutting-edge designs because, frankly, there are better ways to lightweight vehicles. So lighten up with Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
We've got a bunch of new product to look at today, and I figured we could start off with the all-new Toyota 4Runner. It now rides on Toyota's global truck platform called TNGA-F, the same as the new Tacoma, Land Cruiser, Tundra, and Sequoia. We think it looks like a slimmed-down version of the current model with design cues that tie it into those other trucks. And also, like those other trucks, the new 4Runner is ditching its less fuel-efficient engine. The 270 horsepower 4-liter V6 is being replaced with a turbocharged 2.4-liter 4-cylinder engine, which is paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. In standard output, it makes 278 horsepower, 8 more than before, and it also makes 317 pound-feet of torque. But there's also a hybrid version with an electric motor integrated right into the transmission that bumps power up to 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. That setup is capable of towing up to 6,000 pounds, which is 1,000 more than the V6. 2- and 4-wheel drive capability, as well as a host of off-road options, will be sticking around for the all-new model, and Toyota is also adding a Trail Hunter trim, which is its idea of a factory-built overlander. The interior is still blocky and rugged, but it looks like it added some more soft-touch materials, new storage compartments, and large digital display screens. I think that about wraps up the highlights, and you can expect to see the new 4Runner on sale in the U.S. this fall. Sticking with U.S. SUVs, Buick pulled the wraps off the new Enclave. Longer, wider, and taller than before, it adopts similar styling to Buick's other new cars, which is inspired by the Wildcat concept. The SUV also gets a large new digital display that floats on top of the dash, as well as Super Cruise hands-free driving technology, which is a first for Buick. Under the hood will be a turbocharged 2.5-liter engine that makes 328 horsepower, which is a little bit more than the 3.6-liter V6 that it replaces. It's mated to an 8-speed transmission, which can send power to the front or all 4 wheels. Orders for the new Enclave are expected to open this summer, and one of the trims that customers will be able to order is called Sport Touring. And like our next new model, it comes with a bunch of ST badges and logos all over it. Ford is introducing a new performance version of the Focus in Europe called the ST Edition. Unlike the Sport Touring Enclave, this ST stands for Sport Technologies, and it's upfitted with an adjustable coilover suspension system, Brembo front brakes, new lightweight wheels, a manual transmission, and a turbocharged 2.3-liter engine that's been tuned to close to 275 horsepower. With that setup, it will do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 5.7 seconds. And it also has some sporty upgrades to the interior as well. And let's stay in Europe with our new reveals. Opel and Vauxhall are reviving the Frontera SUV, which was around for about a decade from the early 90s until the early 2000s. Those were based on an Isuzu platform that was used for vehicles like the Isuzu Rodeo and the Honda Passport. This time around, we think it's using either the Stella Small or Stella Medium platform. It will initially be offered as a pure electric model, but it will also offer a 48-volt hybrid setup at some point. Details are still pretty scarce, but they did provide a number of pictures, and we can see that it can accommodate both left and right-hand drive, and it features a couple of digital display screens. No word yet on when the new Frontera will launch. We've got an update on a battery company that we had on Autoline After Hours close to 2 years ago. Clarios, which used to be part of Johnson Controls, announced that it's going to supply a major automaker with its newest 12-volt AGM, or absorbent glass mat battery. These are your more traditional under-hood batteries, and Clarios says this new version has better rechargeability. So with the engine working less to charge the battery, it can help reduce fuel consumption, as well as cut CO2 emissions up to 80% compared to traditional AGM batteries. But with that, we wrap up today's show. Thank you for tuning in.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. And by Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
Keeping your heart racing in and out of the gym. That's what really matters. Bridgestone Potenza Sport AS tires with a 50,000-mile limited warranty.
Intrepid's NeoVi Pi, allowing automotive engineers to interface, capture, and monitor vehicle data using Raspberry Pi. As a matter of fact, it's the automotive industry's first robust platform for Raspberry Pi, featuring Intrepid CAN-FD technology and Raspberry Pi Compute Module. The NeoVi Pi is designed for automotive environments, allowing use with relative power ranges and applications. In addition, the NeoVi Pi enables you to use the Raspberry Pi for compute while avoiding additional development to adapt to network environments. That makes the NeoVi Pi powerful enough to solve your vehicle network problems, yet small enough to fit in your backpack. One of many intrepid tools used for developing zonal architecture and software-defined vehicles.